2023 Palisade features explained by salesperson on delivery day. A lot was covered, don't miss out.
They're actually power seats back here. So you hit these buttons here, you'll actually recline your third row. We'll put them down as well. So that's just up. So yeah, so it does have a smart feature. So if there's anything obstructing it, it'll come back up. So it either doesn't destroy the seat mechanism or whatever's on the seat.
Okay.
So there's a good little example there. Yeah. So yeah, the second row. I'm just going to show you all the way up. Okay, so this seat's reclined. So you can actually either come in this way, so there's a button here. So you can either enter this back seat this way or obviously between the seats. So super easy. So you get the Napa leather in this one, and there's also a release button here.
Okay.
And then there's actually a bar in the middle of the seat, so you can actually split the cargo space for the leg space between the back row and the front.
Oh.
So you can actually put that up. So like that's locked in there. So if you have someone a little bit taller in the back seat, someone shorter here, like in a car seat or whatever,
Right.
you can actually split the difference. And that's on both sides.
Gotcha.
Okay.
So it gives you a little bit more flexibility, right?
Yeah, for sure.
So second row, there's all your controls there. So you get heated seats, 3 tiers, and ventilated seats, 3 tiers in the second row.
Sweet.
So this thing's gonna have all the bells and whistles, all the fun stuff.
Yeah.
So that's just there too. So you can, it's actually dual climate control too for both sides.
Okay.
And then you have USB ports in the sides of the seat, so you can see it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
See
for
it
sure.
over there, but it's on this side as well.
Sweet.
There is a moonroof back here. This one doesn't open,
Right.
but
The one.
the shade opens, but the one in the front opens. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So the shade opens, so it's like a visual thing, but it doesn't actually open.
Just
for that,
Yeah.
So you got rear shades here. So for the kids, anyone sitting back there, get a little bit of a privacy shade and blocks the sun too if the
Right.
windows aren't down. Because the tint on the windows it's like a UV protection. Same with the sunroofs have it too. So you're not just getting beat by that. And you actually have a plug back here too. Also see that big? So it's like a actual charger plug.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sweet.
So for iPads, whatever you got in the back, and then you got keyless entry. So this will lock and unlock the car. So you just have to have proximity to the car with the key. Okay, so here, so you got your seat settings. So whenever you find your whoever's driving, whoever finds their seat, you hit set, and then you hold on to your button, and then every time you get in, you just hit 1 or 2, and it'll bring you back to where you were. So this driver's seat is super customizable. So there's so many different things you can do with it. So this button here, actually brings in your bolsters, so the side, so it actually hugs you tighter. Yeah, so it gets you in the seat a little bit more. This is your lumbar. This obviously does the backrest. This does the front and back, and actually lifts the seat as well. So you can actually tilt.
Oh,
You can actually tilt this too.
Okay.
And then this one here actually moves this out for your legs, so it's just like a little bit more leg support here.
Right.
It would be a lot of stuff that's similar to what you have here.
It does.
Yeah.
Sure.
And then this button here is your massaging seats. Yeah, super
Yes.
nice. So there's 3 different modes for that. So there's upper back, lower back, which is like your lumbar, and then it actually does like your pelvic floor. So it actually does like a side to side motion like under your butt. So it's I tested it out.
Sweet.
No, it's super nice. So just a couple more things right here. So this is it comes with like a tow package. It doesn't have the actual hitch on it, so you can add the hitch. But if you hit this, it actually gives you the trailer brakes. Yeah. So that if you decide you want to added towing packages. This actually, I believe it's around 5,000 towing capacity on
I
this.
think so. I think.
Yeah, so it might be up to 7. I'm not sure. Just don't quote me on that.
Yeah, I think for some reason 5,000.
Yeah, I think the 5,000 because it's 3,500 for the other ones, and this one's 5,000 because it's a 6-cylinder. So this is your button for your back gate. So hold it. You have to actually hold this one till it shuts, or it'll kind of leave it like halfway.
Halfway,
Yeah. And then this is your electronic parking brake.
Yep, sorry. I got distracted.
No,
I
just
got
pulled it out
distracted.
here as
I was looking at.
So yeah, so
Exact.
this is your electronic parking brake. So that engages and disengages it. So you'll actually have to move that once you put the car into drive.
Okay.
So other than that, telescopic steering here. So in and out and up and down. It's a little stiff. Obviously, everything's brand new. So make sure you lock that up, because if you don't lock that,
Then you're in.
well, no, it'll allow
It
you to
won't move.
drive.
Yeah.
But it'll still move.
Yeah,
So if you go to push your brakes on, the steering wheel will go in. I've had that happen to me a couple times. It's a little sketchy. You feel like you're going through the windshield. And then other than that, we can all get in, and I'll show you everything from the back seat. You guys can sit in the front.
Perfect.
All right.
Awesome.
Okay. So yeah, if you just want to fire it up, it's push button start. Alrighty. So there's some fun stuff in here. So all these buttons here, that's your ventilated seats. Heated seats, 3 tiers for both sides, and that's your heated steering wheel. That's my favorite.
Sweet.
And then that dial you see there that says Comfort Eco.
Yeah.
So this is your drive modes.
Gotcha.
So how that works, you can actually change that on the fly at any time. Like, you don't have to be in park or anything like that. So let's say you're merging onto the highway, you kick it into sport just to give you that extra little power.
Yeah.
And then you can put it back to eco, comfort, wherever you want to go. So obviously comfort gives you the best ride, eco gives you the most fuel efficiency, sport, it's pretty self-explanatory, and then
Yeah.
smart actually adapts to your driving. It's like an adaptive driving mode. So the computer in the system actually adapts to your driving, so it'll actually flip between all 3 modes depending on how you're driving at the time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
And then if you hit that button in where it says drive,
Mm-hmm.
it actually gives you terrain modes. So it gives you snow, mud, or sand.
Sweet.
Yeah, so the snow mode, the car pretty much crawls. So it really gears down, so you're not
Oh.
just slipping. Yeah, so it works really well. So yeah, I've used it in my Tucson a couple times. It's nice, but
Yeah.
luckily we haven't had too much snow this year, so
Yeah, for sure.
don't really have to worry about that. So your drive mode select with those little buttons there. So just like anything else, you got to have your foot on the brake, and then you either select which mode you want to go into. So I'm just trying to figure out which route I want to go here. Okay, yeah. So for your dials there for your AC heat, so that's your temperature,
Right.
and then it's actually push button on the fan speed in the middle. So like you see where it says the fan's bigger, the fan's smaller.
Oh, whereabouts? I'm.
Here and
Right
here.
there. Yeah.
Oh, you mean like? Oh, yeah. I remember now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you can actually go down. Or
Yeah. So you can. It's
Oh,
all
so it's
yeah.
touch.
Yeah, it's touch screen
Ah.
there, and then it's dual climate control as well. So you can decide what temperature you want it at, and if you want to sync, you just hit the right button,
Right,
and then it
so
syncs
sync
both sides.
Okay.
And then obviously rear and front defrost are right under those buttons. So
What?
This one.
Oh, yeah.
and
There we
then-
go. Here.
yeah,
All right,
exactly.
sweet.
And then obviously the off button. That's pretty self-explanatory. I don't really have to tell you about that. And then auto hold, that big button that says auto hold. So let's say you're like in a hilly area and there's a lot of stops and starts.
Oh.
Yeah, so that'll actually, if you hit auto hold, it'll actually hold every time you're on a hill, instead of having to like brake and gas at the same
Yeah.
time. So that'll actually hold your position, like it'll lock the transmission.
By just one tap, or you gotta hold
Yeah.
it down?
So one tap,
Okay.
and then it'll engage it, and then there'll be actually on your dash. There'll
Yeah.
be
Instructions? Or?
no. It'll actually show you in white, like those other symbols are white right now,
Uh-huh.
and it'll be green when it's activated.
Okay.
Yeah. And then if you go to the other side there, so right now your parking sensors are on. That's that P. So that means when you're reversing, it'll give you an audible alarm if you're close on either side. So it gives
okay.
you a sensor in the middle and on the left and the right.
Got you.
So and then it gives you the bird's eye view camera as well. So it gives you like a top view of the car. Yeah. And then the one beside that to the left is like a downhill assist. So that's kind of if you're like trailering, you don't really have to worry about that one. You're,
Oh, okay.
in my opinion anyway, you're never going to use that. And then the one below that with the A, this thing is going to stop at every red light.
Is that
That one of the BMW.
Yeah. So if you don't want that, you click that button, and when that button's lit up, that means it won't do that.
Okay.
And then the button beside that gives you that different park modes, so like different views on when you're reversing for parking.
Okay.
So that's all that. And then if you go up where the triangle is, so obviously that's all your stereo controls. So you got map and navigation here, radio and media. So let's say you want to use Apple CarPlay or Android Auto, you can actually plug the phone in here. So if you open this up, there's a USB that you use there. This is where your wireless charger is as well. So you just slide your phone in there, and if it's compatible, it will charge for you. So it's a fast charger too. So
nice.
with these,
More space.
just to give you more space, and then you just hit those buttons there to open it up. They come out pretty fast though. So. Yeah. Other than that, this is pretty self-explanatory. If you want to click OK on the screen there, now this is all touch screen. So if you want to touch it and scroll over to the right, so this is all your menu options here. So if you go to map, navigation menu, it'll obviously give you different options of where you can go, like gas stations, restaurants, like there's different presets that you can put in here. And then you can obviously set your home, work, wherever you want to go. Obviously you already know how to get there, so I'm sure you're not using GPS. But if you're out of town or something, you're not really sure how to get home, you can set that. You can always set your home, so for wherever you are, you can hit home and it'll just give you the best route. So phone projection, if you actually go to phone, I'll set you guys up on your Bluetooth right now. If you want, you know what, I'm sure you guys can figure it out.
Yeah.
Don't worry about that. So you can I can control the climate back here, or you can control it there. So if you go to rear climate, it's right in the middle. There we go. So now you can kind of play through what you want here, so that you can do third row as well. So yeah, if you just click on like the plus button for like the red, it'll give you like more heat to the back, obviously, and then I can actually adjust this here, so it'll show what I'm doing.
Gotcha.
And where I'm wanting it as well.
Okay.
So you can adjust that from here if you have kids or whatever and they're not able to actually press this yet. If they're in their car seats, then you can do it up here, so it's not like a lost thing back here. So you can actually turn on the seats as well through there.
Okay.
So yeah, I can choose fan speed, everything.
It
Just from
shows you the direction of the air.
Yeah, and then I can turn it off as well.
Okay.
All right, so that's pretty easy. And then if you go back, I'll show you a couple more options. So passenger talk. So if you go to that, so if you say something, can you kind of hear it like reverbing off the back?
So I can talk to who is in the back is what this option is for?
Exactly.
Sweet.
It's instead of having to yell to them,
Yeah.
it's actually in the back speakers.
Yeah.
It sounds weird right now because we're talking, but Yeah, it actually comes through the two back speakers overhead, so you can yell at your kids if they're
Yes.
acting. So if you go back on that, so we don't have to listen to each other too much there. Yeah. So that's that too.
Okay.
Valet mode, actually. Yeah, is right beside the passenger talk. There's some new stuff that I don't even know in here, so we're gonna learn together. It's valet mode.
Maybe if someone's parking your car for you and you want to limit
Okay,
whatever
cool.
they're
You
doing.
can limit them.
Yeah, so you could limit them from like not being able to touch any of your stuff.
Yeah.
That's cool. So
That's
maybe
smart.
play around with that after.
Yeah. I think I saw a video of this part.
That's good.
Yeah.
Okay, voice memo. So if you scroll over to the right again. So Blue Link actually, it also does diagnostics on your car. So once you go into the app, you can actually see where your fuel economy is, where you are between services, and what the car actually needs. So it'll actually do, every time you open the app, it does a full diagnostic on the car. So if you click Blue Link, it'll actually view diagnostics in the middle.
Okay.
So it'll actually tell you anything that's wrong with the vehicle as well. Obviously, it takes a little bit of time
To scan everything.
to scan everything. Yeah. So, so tire pressure, transmission, engine management system, all that stuff. It'll tell you if there's a problem. So it's pretty in depth. That's why it's a paid subscription after the 3 years.
Yeah.
Okay.
But you get 3 years to play around with it and kind of figure out
That's
if
a
you like it
while.
or not, right? So it gives you a sufficient time to figure out if you want to use it or not, right?
Yeah. I think we'll definitely.
Yeah, so if you go back out of the Blue Link part, you got your user manual there, or you have it actually in your glove compartment.
The
So
physical.
owner's manual there. It's
Okay.
massive. So.
It is. It's huge.
Yeah,
Oh, and the wheel locks.
it'll take you forever to read that.
Yeah.
So you like YouTube. You can find out anything on YouTube in 4 minutes. It'll take you a year to get through that.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, now we'll play around with the steering wheel here. I'll just switch sides. So, if you put your signal on, it actually gives you your blind spot.
Love
So it's the
that.
blind view monitoring. So there's actually little cameras in your rear views.
Yeah.
So it does it on both sides too.
Yeah.
So honestly, they're making it, you're not gonna have to drive the car essentially on the highway.
It's perfect.
It's wonderful.
Perfect.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. Okay, so more of that, like the autonomous stuff. So on the right side of your steering wheel, like on the face of this, yes, exactly. So to start your cruise control is the top right button. Yes, so you select that. Obviously the conditions aren't met.
Right.
So once you set that and you click on that button that has it's the adaptive cruise control. Yeah, exactly. So you can actually set the car up to follow
car
at
in front of
three different distances.
Right.
So the closest distance I believe is like 30 feet away. So
Yeah.
you aren't gonna like that's the one you're gonna use.
Yeah.
The other ones are way too far because
Way
people
too
are
far.
just gonna cut in front of you and it's
Exactly.
gonna screw it all up.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, I remember I had this in my Infinity.
it's the system is super high tech. It's great. And then the one beside that actually is your lane keep assist with your highway driving. So there's roads mapped into the car. So what that'll do if you hit that, it'll actually steer the car for you on the highway.
Wow.
Keep you
So obviously you have to hold on to the steering wheel or it'll like disengage. But I tested it, so I got on the 407 just outside of Burlington there and rode it all the way like up north. I was on it for like 3 hours, didn't touch the brake or the pedal or like the steering wheel once. Like I held like grabbed it every once in a while, but it drove the whole road.
Oh.
Yeah, and I wanted to test that, and it was in a Palisade too. So I wanted to test that just so I can say that to people and not be lying.
Yeah.
But no, it works really well. It does have to see the lines clearly though. So if it's
So
like
winter,
raining,
winter time, it wouldn't.
it like
'Cause snow
it's
is
if there's snow and it's super bad, like the sensors sometimes are covered up with the
Yeah,
slush and
for
stuff
sure.
like that. So you got to be careful with that stuff.
Yeah.
Your car has to be clean for all that stuff to work properly.
Yeah. I get that in the truck a lot.
For sure, there's sensors all over it, right?
Yeah.
Like it's if there's a little bit of slush or salt or whatever on that, it'll act a little bit weird.
Yeah. Sometimes even the sunlight messes with the sensors that are in the front of the truck. Like it'll tell you there's no camera view and all of that.
Yeah.
Just messes with
Just
it,
from the
so,
glare, right?
Yeah.
So it's a little bit finicky. It's not 100% obviously, but it does work. It does work for sure.
Sweet.
Now on the left side of the steering wheel, same thing. That's all your steering wheel controls for your radio. So if you click your Android Auto, like if you have, or Apple CarPlay, whatever you have, if you plug it in, that top button just accesses Siri. So you can like play this song, bring me here on the GPS or whatever, and it'll all come up through the screen. So everything that's interactive with your phone that works in a car.
Because not seeing this.
Because when I'm watching the videos and getting myself, you don't pay attention to it, and she wants me to tell her everything.
Yeah.
Oh, what does it do?
Yeah,
I'm
because
watching
it's
the
better when
video.
I'm asking you.
Okay.
So when you go home and you do the review, then I'll be following you around and listening.
There you go.
Exactly.
So underneath too, you got your garage door openers as well.
Yeah, I'm struggling with that right now.
Thanks for watching. If you like this type of content, then please subscribe for more.